Man, I haven't done one of these little vlog videos in a while, but look, I just jacked off all day, so I don't have anything else to talk about. Just kidding. I love fixing bugs, dude. Like, bro, so check this out. I saw that I had some errors in my tasks. So if I go to my trigger.dev, we see we got some errors here. So these have been going on. Admittedly, it's been a few days. This is nothing mission critical. This is updating my CRM, so it's not the end of the world. This stuff, however, I mean, this is all testing today, and then this stuff, I knew what the issue was, and it was kind of also a non-issue. But I was like, I'm gonna fix that because what you want to do is you want to come in here and you want to see all green. You know, it's a great feeling, dude. I took a screenshot today. I'm like a dad taking pictures of his kids. You know, check this out. My Vercel in observability page, I've got, I don't know how many invocations this is, like hundreds of thousands or something. 0% error rate the whole fucking time, dude. Let me just switch over to this. If we go to my observability, we can see. So we can go. Wow, you can actually go like a long time. I don't want to go too far back because there's gonna be some errors. But over the last 24 hours, I think it says how many invocations it's had. So this one function has at 38,000 invocations, so a little bit less than a few hundred thousand. I'll admit, but we can see 0% error rate, just fucking marvelous. And dude, I feel like these bugs, these small ones that are just kind of like, it's like a puzzle, you know. You don't have to like commit super hard. It's just fun. It's just fun. So let me show you the bugs that I was having. Um, so we had empty URL causing manage action to fail. Shit, I just exposed someone's API key, so I gotta cut that out. But this is a payload for a task where basically someone's invoking. It's like they're using Make or Zapier or whatever, and they're invoking my app through an action, and they're supposed to be passing through a call recording URL, but it wasn't coming through. As we can see the end of that API key that I'm going to remember to remove. And then we can see right here that the recording URL is an empty string. And this was causing an error because I don't have a check for an invalid recording URL or missing recording URL. So I would go to Speechmatic, say, yo, let me get a transcription of this. And they were just like, yo, we can't get it, dude. Like, we're trying. We're trying. I love this. This is how the web should be. Like, instead of this JSON, it should just be, yo, we're trying, dog. We can't figure this shit out. Maybe they should just tell me, hey, you forgot to include a URL, you fucking moron. But yeah, basically, there was no URL, and it was a minor issue because this task would fail, and then it would just return a response like, hey, failed to get to file, and you could figure it out. But now I added, that was really a really easy thing to do, because if we go to, so this is our manage action task. Basically, I made it so that by default, if there was no result, so basically if this subtask threw an error, it would throw an error here, which I don't want. I actually would prefer to send a response that says something went wrong, please contact me. And then if I return an error from that task, so like an intentional error basically, then we'll also return that error. And so here's how it works. Basically, we have everything the same, but at the top we're checking if there's no recording URL, return this message to the user. So that was pretty easy. That was fun. What was the other one? It was timing out a little bit, so like it was set for 5 minutes, 300 seconds. Speechmatics takes their damn time. I had a call that was, I think, 9 minutes long, 560 seconds, and it couldn't transcribe it in 5 minutes. So I need to increase that to, I increased it to 10 minutes. Maybe I'll just get rid of the time cap, just full stop. But that could also cause some other errors, so we'll see about that. And let me just show you something interesting here. So if I go to my usage, dude, you know what's fucking crazy? Is if I go, yeah, January. So February is $4. January is, and I guess it's aggregating all this data in real time because it's fucking taking forever, dude. Alright, fine, I'll pause it. Holy shit, it finally loaded. So yeah, $100 in December. And then January, I think, was something like 200. Look at this, dude. $250, bro. And you get on their top plan, you get $50 of usage included, which actually Trigger's pretty affordable. Their lowest plan is $10 a month. A lot of competitors, I think their lowest plan is more like $25 a month, and then I think Ingest kind of comes to mind. Their pricing, so yeah, so basic is $50 a month, and then the pro is $350. So Trigger goes from 10 to 50 to 10 to 25 to 50, and they go 0 to 50 to $350. So that's kind of like, I don't know, that would help in a situation like this because I'm spending a shit ton, or I was, until I killed a lot of my tasks that were running on Trigger because it's just not efficient for like super small tasks. Like if we go back, I think hopefully, I think we can go back here and we can see that the most basically like save message. So you can see average duration 8 seconds. That cost me $80. And then contact create took 3 seconds on average, and that cost me $45. Yeah, this is not that long of a function. I mean, you could probably run this in like a Lambda. Like I'll run this on a Vercel edge function. That's what I'm doing right now, is running this on Vercel instead, and it's not costing me $45 in a single month. So yeah, anyways, this month, what I wanted to show you is that transcribed call task, so average duration 750 milliseconds, 1.8 seconds, 2 seconds, this one a minute 30, because you're making a request to Speechmatics like, hey, let me get a transcript for this, and they don't send you. I mean, you can set up like a callback URL, but I don't feel like it. Instead, basically what they're doing, or what it's doing, is it's making the request and it's just sitting there waiting until Speechmatics is done. And so like a minute 30 is the average duration. And you can see this task, the average cost is about like a third of a cent, whereas all these other tasks are nowhere near that. I mean, they're like a couple order of magnitudes cheaper than this task, and I believe like that's something I'll have to address, but I don't know. It was just interesting. And then what was the last thing? Oh yeah, opportunity value is failing for some reason, and this was actually pretty fun to work out. So what we have here is basically when someone uninstalls my app, it will send me a payload with a company ID, a location ID, and I'll know that app has been uninstalled from this external system. And what I need to do is I need to mark that person as null, or their access data as null, and then that way we can run this task, which will basically count up all the installed locations and figure out how much that customer is worth to me. And so this was failing because I realized that in the payload, basically I was saying, if there was a company ID, oh shit, and this should actually just be, should be the same. So basically the way it worked is, if there was a company ID in the payload, then we would use that as the customer ID. And if there was only a location ID in the payload, then we would use that as the customer ID. But I realized, and this probably doesn't make any sense because this is just how my app works. It's kind of weird. But what I realized is that the customer ID is not actually, like, the company ID isn't always included in the payload. So I just have to, when I clear the access data, I just have to return the customer ID from that row in order to update it, basically. And now this task works perfectly. So that's really the thing. And it was, I don't know, dude. It's just fun to kind of figure out. By the way, what I love about Vercel is their observability. I mean, one thing is I realized, like, dude, look at this observability. This is just amazing. Like, you don't get this with Trigger, really. With Vercel, you get really fucking good analytics. And then you can see all your routes. You can see, like, the duration. You can click on a certain route, and you can see, I mean, look at that shit. The duration. Then you can see your APIs that you're making requests to. So I can see my database, an external API I'm using, Trigger, Mapbox, and we can see the exact duration of these requests. And so we can see, oh, this API is slower than my database, blah, blah, blah. And I'm making a shit ton of fucking requests to my database. It's just sick. Like, you can see all this stuff and, speed insights. I guess I don't have this enabled, and analytics. Like, it's sick. So, the other thing is, with Trigger, you can tag things. So, if we go to my task, if we come over here, we can see we have a location ID, a app ID. We have a bunch of different tags that kind of help me search through these actions. Whereas with Vercel, I can literally just search a certain string, like an ID, like a customer ID, and if we give it a while, it will return all of the invocations that have logs containing this customer ID, which is honestly just so sick. And maybe already completed. Okay, so yeah, so I just did that search, and in the last one day, there's been no requests that contain this customer ID. But it's sick, dude, because with Trigger, you like do tags.add and you'd add it. Vercel, you just search it. I mean, dude, I don't know. I like Trigger. It's so nice that you can just fucking build a task the way you want it. You know it'll run, you know it'll complete, and if it doesn't complete, you can throw errors and retry, and there's a lot to like about it, but then you try Vercel and you're just like, oh, this is just nice, man. It's just nice. And dude, observability, like, we've got fluid compute now, which would be so fucking helpful with that call transcription task. Because if I have 5 of those tasks running at the same time, all 5 of them are probably just sitting there waiting for a response from Speechmatics. So you don't need 5 separate instances. You just need one instance that can make a request and just sit there for the next fucking 10 minutes. And so with Vercel, you can do that with Fluid Compute. Yeah, I'm only saving 10%, which isn't that much, but I think it's really sick that Vercel keeps sending me email. Not like they don't spam me at all, but when they do send me an email, it's like, yo, we just found a way to save a bunch of money. Here you go. And I'm just like, they're making less revenue and less profit by introducing these changes. And sure, it's probably a long game where they're going to get more customers because they're making these changes, but I don't know. It's like, as the business owner, this is something you think about, and so it's just really commendable that they actually do this stuff. And yeah, anyways, that's my long ramble for today. Thanks for watching.